Welcome to Movie Lounge. I'm your host, Stephen Watson, and today we're going to be talking about two things. Mostly a question that is really cool, and I love to talk about this stuff, around CGI and visual effects and all that fun stuff, and also American Sniper. And I'll get to those, but I first want to mention that we have a Twitter account in the works, and we're just trying to get that all set up before we give up the name, so people can start doing live questions or even just sending messages on Twitter. And the reason why we're doing Twitter is because one of the guys that helped make this show come true and come possible is he just told me, you gotta do a Twitter account, and I was like, So I kind of gave up. We're setting up a Twitter account for it so we can start doing live questions. And the reason behind that is I want to start getting the fans engaged, feel like they're a part of this show that's making it grow. And so I just wanted to get all that news out of the way first. So I saw American Sniper last weekend and loved it. It wasn't what I thought it was. I thought it was going to be more all action. It's not, and it's more about one man being human, being literally this legend, this great sniper, but also having the psychological side of what it is to be in the military. And what Clint Eastwood and Bradley Cooper have done is make something so, it's special to me. Now yes, there are some little things here and there that are like, okay, like when I see Bradley Cooper as the main character, I just see Bradley Cooper. But what he has done is he has made it convincing that he is trying his best to portray someone of this magnitude. Because the main guy is just who passed away a few years ago, if you haven't known, spoiler alert, but he portrays this military man who is, without a doubt, one of the best snipers. And he tries to take that and just go with it. And what Clint Eastwood has done is make a really good movie, finally. He's made a few terrible, not so good, somewhat watchable movies, but he has put all his eggs in the basket, actually, as I would say, and just make this movie that is just so good. And it's blowing through the box office. It's making tons of money. And I think it's because it's due to the fact that they were nominated for Best Picture and Best Actor. And people are like, we gotta see this. And it's something that both sides of political parties can watch and understand, like, hey, this is what happens when you go to the war. And I've had a few conversations with my cousin who was in the military, and we've had all kinds of conversations about this. And I have friends who are in the military, and we've had this kind of conversation where you have the psychological side of it, where it can really mess you up when you go to the Marines, Army, Navy, whatever military branch it is, and you come back, you're like psychologically just done. Like your mind, you've seen things that no human should see and do. And so that's the effect, and that's what it shows in American Sniper. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. That's like probably my only review of the year that I'll ever do. I don't do much reviews because I'm more of like, how was it made? What are the questions I can ask myself to better myself as a filmmaker? So the first question comes from Jen. Jen wants to know what movies other than Lord of the Rings have a very high amount of green screen / CGI, and what your opinion may be on using too much green screen / special effects over actual creation / props, and what this may be doing to the acting world. Well, first off, great question, Jen. I love these kind of questions because they're the technical, like, way out there creative mindset technical things in filmmaking. Visual effects with CGI and animation it's cool. I have a brother who does the same stuff in this category that I don't know all the answers to, but just from coming from a producer director, that standpoint where it's all live action and live props, like it's a good question that I can go to him like, hey, what does this do and stuff. But to answer into your question is what is my opinion? I'm all for CGI. I'm all for the special effects, the everything to make like creatures come to life. For example, is the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. The new Planet of the Apes franchise. When this is how you make visual effects work really well. Is you make a movie like Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and you make the visual effects tell the story. You make it work with it. Because if you get like, for example, like the last Transformers 4, I enjoyed it. With the Transformers, I felt like, okay, you could have done something way better, and it's cool, but the visual effects, it just didn't, it looked very, it didn't fit there. I understand it was a cartoon before, but when I say cartoony, I mean just more of a gag, more of a funny joke of how terrible our visual effects have come. When I saw the first Transformers, loved it. It worked well with it. Now it's more of like it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit in the whole thing. It's like two different stories coming together and they just don't fit. With Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and like other great movies, like you have Oblivion, I'll even put Tron Legacy in there. What's another? Like Avengers, anything that makes it cool. I don't think actors have a problem doing acting with nothing in front of them, but all of a sudden there's a massive prop at the end and stuff. I'm actually all for both practical effects, live props, and visual effects, because each of those three can tell the story that the movie needs to be told. Now, if you take Star Wars, the prequels, it's over heavily CGI, and it just takes away from it. If you can make a movie, let's say if you can take a movie about a kid who has a flying skateboard, and you can take the visual effects in that and blend it very well with everything that's all live action, then you can tell a really cool story. And with what Dawn of the Planet of the Apes did is it made the apes look real. Like I was watching it on the TV and I was like, I know everything that's going there. I know what isn't real and what is real. And it was, for a second, I took myself out of the filmmaker's mindset and as just a regular movie fan. And I was blown away. I thought it was very much real. I thought what they did was they proved that having visual effects can work to a T. And for example, like with, I think it was Life of Pi, everything in that movie is all CGI. And it is awesome. Like, the story was long, but the visual effects were so awesome that it's like, nothing around him is real. Like, it's all computer animated. And, like, that movie sets the tone of, like, this is what we can do with visual effects. Just let us do it. And if you take people who are very serious about it, and very much so of, like, wanting to push the envelope of visual effects, it can work. So, yeah, I think it can work in the sense of how you do it. If you go with it with, for me, it's passion. It's like if I'm pushing for it, it's gonna happen because I want it to look this certain way of how it's gonna be. And when you do it that way, when you really take the story serious and you're like, I really want people to see this and I want to push the imagination, then yeah, it's gonna happen. It's gonna match. If you like, okay, let's throw this and that, like, it's not gonna, you need to have a balance of reality and imagination. And there are a lot of movies that do that, like Marvel's pretty good at it, of just stretching our imagination. Like, I love movies that can make me think like, wow, that was really cool. I know that was fake, but that was so cool. Like, it worked with it. And so yeah, that was the question for today. And if you have any more questions, feel free to email us at, I just forgot the email address for just a second. If you want any questions answered, and you would feel free to email us at themovielounge15@gmail.com. There'll be a little credit name on it, of what the email is. So you're more welcome to do that. Soon we'll be doing live Twitter feed, live email answering questions, everything. So yeah, if you want, you guys can send a question there, or you can send it on the Facebook. My name is Stephen Watson. Thanks for joining. Bye.